about a minute past the hour, and we'll get started. If you are just joining, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. And we're always interested in hearing why you're interested in ROR, whether you're using it now or whether you're interested in using it in the future. Here's our agenda for today. I'll just give you a general introduction to ROR and to what we're doing. We're going to hear from our metadata curator, Riley Marsh, about what we've been doing to update the data in ROR. We're going to hear a fairly extensive talk about a couple of technical updates that we've been doing and leave some time for Q&A about those, and that'll be presented by our product manager, Adam Buttrick. I'll give you a brief introduction to who's using ROR and what the statistics look like in terms of ROR in especially but not exclusively DOI metadata. And then we're going to hear a couple of presentations from people who are using ROR. We're going to hear from Fonds de Recherche de Québec. We have Mathieu Fortin here, who will speak to us about that. And then we have actually a little bit of an introduction to the Research Data Alliance, and then a video that we're going to show you from a UX designer that they hired to build them a ROR-enabled form. And then we, as always, have time for additional questions and additional suggestions for future topics, anything you'd like to discuss. So I hope that you all know that ROR is a global community-led registry of open persistent identifiers for research organizations. Many of you probably know that ROR is operated as a collaborative initiative, not an organization itself, by the California Digital Library, Crossref, and DataCite. You may know that we are a signatory to the Principles of Open Scholarly Information, Scholarly Infrastructure, which means that we don't depend on grants and fees and cannot be transferred to a commercial entity in addition to other principles. We hold these community calls every other month. They are open for anyone to attend. They're just a way for you to keep updated on what ROR is doing and to see demonstrations and discussions from ROR adopters, ROR users. We announce them in the usual places. And these are meetings, not webinars, so we do very much encourage you to ask questions in the chat, and we will answer them as we go along, as well as in dedicated Q&A periods where, if you like, you can unmute and speak to us directly. We record the calls, and we will send you the slides and the recording to all registrants. We also post them publicly on our website and the recordings on YouTube. And we do have a code of conduct, which means that we just ask you to be professional and treat everyone with respect. And if you are joining from a country where English is not the first language and you would like to see captions in another language, we encourage you to click Show Captions in Zoom, and hopefully you can get something of a translation of the English that we're conducting the call in. We love to have these calls. I actually always really enjoy them, and I enjoy hearing from you at the calls, but there are plenty of other asynchronous ways to get involved. You can suggest features or report bugs on our roadmap. And again, these links will be shared with you in the slides afterward, but you can also find our roadmap on GitHub. You can post questions and share information in either of our two community forums, which are basically just email lists. One of them is for general news and updates, and one of them is for more technical news and updates. And of course, really anybody in the world can and does ask us to add new ROR records or update the information in existing ROR records. So anyone is free to submit a request to our curators for an update to ROR data. And then of course, if you are integrating ROR into an application, we would always love to hear about that. And you can let us know about that. So here's just a very quick general update on what we've been doing recently. Lots of events this year. Really enjoyed participating in a Chorus organized panel at the Japan Open Science Summit recently. And I must say that Japan's open science policies are really interesting, and I encourage you to take a look at those. They really are the Japanese government is investing quite a bit in open science initiatives, and as part of that, persistent identifiers are something that they are recommending and encouraging. So that was a really nice panel where we spoke about that. I attended open repositories, as did Adam in Chicago in June. And repositories are exemplary users of ROR. Always nice to get to talk to those folks. I went to the Society of Scholarly Publishing, presented a poster there about using ROR for funders. And then, of course, we had our previous community call. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about ROR and symplectic elements, which was part of what we talked about at EuroCRIS, which is a meeting of CRIS system managers, current research information system managers. And then we had a really nice webinar with ORCID back in April. So all the materials from those are on our website at roar.org/event. So if you're interested in looking even just through the slides for any of those, you can go to roar.org/events and look through those. And then we do have 2 additional upcoming community calls, and you're free to register for those as well. We posted a few things on our blog, including details about our timeline for deprecating version 1 of the ROR schema and API, which again, we have been discussing quite a bit and will continue to discuss today. We had a really nice case study with Peyton Taverdi, whom I saw was on the call today, and her wonderful work integrating ROR into the U.S. Department of Transportation's research repository. Nice case study from a couple months ago about OA report using ROR to help HHMI track compliance with its open access policy. And then a cross post about using ROR for funder identification in Crossref metadata. And with that, I'm going to hand that over to our metadata curator, Riley Marsh. Riley?
Hi, everybody. It's Riley. Amanda, could you grab the slide? I don't have the controls. Thank you. Okay. I have a very quick update from the curation side of things. We have a few new internal curation processes to help us manage volume more efficiently. I'm sure you've noticed our overall curation load is still pretty high. Specifically, Adam made some really good improvements to our ROR triage bot, including a new bot which formats issues and is really helping reduce manual review time. So thank you very much, Adam. You may have noticed in our issue comments these changes. So keep an eye on that. And we're also continuing to make a lot of progress on different regional improvements. We have a new project with KISTI to enhance coverage of Korean organizations, and we've got many projects from both an institutional and national level underway for French organizations. So we have a lot of different things happening for different parts of the world. And that's it for me. So thanks, guys. I'm gonna pass it off to Adam for those technical updates.
Thanks, Adam. Take it away.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Adam Buttrick, Product Manager for ROR here to provide some updates on our technical work. Next slide, please. Okay, so hopefully you take away lots of great things from the call today, especially from our wonderful presenters. But if you want to take away one top line item from us, it's a reminder that beginning the week of July 28th, we will be switching the default schema version in our API to use schema version 2. This change could be a breaking change for any applications that expect a V1 schema API response without explicitly requesting that schema version in their request. So remember, in our API, you can send an unversioned request, or you can send a version request that says V1 or V2. So we ask that you please review your applications as well as our documentation and make any updates that are needed to accommodate the schema change. So both version 1 and version 2 will still be available in the API through the end of this year. So if you need more time to transition to schema version 2, all you really have to do is update your code to specify version 1 in the API request, which is supported right now. This being said, we will be fully deprecating schema and API version 1 at the end of 2025. So there's really no better time than the present to switch over to using schema version 2. And I just want to remind everyone that this deprecation is occurring following a really extensive community feedback period, both before and after the release version 2 of our schema back in March of 2024. Version 2 has now been available for more than a year, with our official versioning policy stating that we will give at least 1 year's notice before pursuing any deprecations. So we're now well beyond that time period and are providing several additional months to make the version 2 change again through the end of this year. As always, if you need any assistance with transitioning to version 2 to making those changes to your request to include a specific version, please reach out to support@roar.org. Next slide, please. I think we missed one. Oops.
Is this the one you want? You do have slide control, but
Sorry.
what do you want? Yeah.
Okay. No. Sorry, it's skipping a slide for me. Can you pull up the API client ID one?
Let's see. That one?
Yeah, for some reason the slide controls are skipping. Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
So as we touched on our last call, the focus of our recent technical work has been on adding client identification capabilities to the ROR API. So we're now pleased to announce that this functionality is now available in a preview period through the end of the year. So during this preview window, you can actually generate client IDs via a form on our site and then include them in your request in anticipation of these upcoming changes. So we'll throw that in a link to the chat right after the slide. So the point of this preview period is such that you can generate client IDs, you can test out this functionality, you can include them in your requests, in your applications, but I want to remind everyone that actually no rate limiting will be applied during this preview period from now until the end of the year. This is simply an opportunity for you to integrate client identification into your workflows and applications ahead of that kind of full launch at the end of the year. So then when the preview period does actually close, we will begin applying rate limits based on the presence or absence of client identification. So at that point, requests with a valid client ID will continue to enjoy our generous rate limit of 2,000 requests per 5 minutes. Requests without a valid client ID will be limited to 50 requests per 5 minutes, which is perfectly fine for most kind of standard type ahead use cases. As we approach the end of the preview period, we'll of course be sending around lots of regular updates through our various channels to make sure everyone is prepared for the transition. I'm going to pause here for questions in case anyone has about either switching over from the default response or this client identification period. Again, client identification, preview period, test it out, make sure it's working. Thank you for looking in the chat as well, Maria.
I'll just mention as well that we've also put links into the chat not only to where you can get a client ID, but some information about that whole process of community feedback around that. So yeah, try it out.
Okay, I'll turn things over to you for adoption updates.
Okay. The first thing I wanted to mention is that specifically regarding the change we're making to the API in July 28th, is that we went ahead and spoke to a few, a few ROR adopters who started out using the first edition of the ROR schema, which is tightly linked with the ROR API. So we usually say version 1 of the schema and API, and made the switch over to V2. As Adam mentioned, you can keep using V1 until the end of the year just by making sure you've got that V1 specification in your API request. But there are people who have taken a look at the data models and have transitioned from using version 1 of the schema to version 2 of the schema, and this is what they were saying. They said, for instance, Ramon Granell of Fair Sharing says it only took a couple of days. It was not a difficult process. Sulentir Charides of Discos said it was no trouble at all. And Frederick Atherton, who's head of production operations at eLife, said it was quick and painless and had unexpected benefits because, of course, the whole reason that we switched to V2 was to introduce some better metadata, including last updated dates, a greater choice of institutional display names, and improved geolocation data. So yes, we do encourage you to look at switching to V2. So that's one thing we wanted to mention. The main thing that I wanted to highlight today for you is ROR in Symplectic Elements. So ROR has actually been in Symplectic Elements for a few different versions, starting with version 6.22. Symplectic Elements has just released version 7. And for those of you who don't know, Symplectic Elements is a very widely used research information system. It's used by many institutions to track their institution's research. It's used at the national level by some countries who want to track country level research. So it's quite an important system that's put out by Digital Science. And they have begun including ROR for the last few versions. And most recently, with version 7, they're beginning to harvest ROR IDs from cross-ref metadata. So it's becoming increasingly important for publishers to provide ROR IDs to cross-ref in DOI metadata so that they will get into downstream systems like Symplectic. So Symplectic has a blog post about that just went up on their blog yesterday. We're going to cross-post that on our own blog as soon as we can. But I encourage you to take a look at that if that's a system that you're interested in. And then I usually show fairly detailed statistics about ROR adoption. I felt like I could do an abbreviated version of that today. So just here are the high-level notes about ROR IDs in Crossref, DataCite, and ORCID. Crossref records with ROR IDs for affiliations or funders is approaching 500,000, which is good. And then DataCite records with ROR IDs for affiliations is through the roof, of course, 23 million. DataCite records with ROR IDs for funders is 650,000 records. And DataCite records with ROR IDs for publishers that are identifying the publisher of a particular record is over 25 million. And then I would just remind people too that that field publisher in DataCite records it's usually, for instance, an institution that is hosting a repository. It's not a scholarly publisher in the way that we usually think of it. But nevertheless, for those organizations that are publishing the material that DataCite is assigning DOIs to, there's plenty of those that are using ROR IDs to identify themselves. And then finally, I was looking at ROR IDs in ORCID records. That number is over 5 million. Again, this is ORCID records that include ROR IDs, but of course a single ORCID record can have multiple organizations mentioned, either in the terms of an organization that employs you or an organization that you have received funding from, all of that. So what ORCID calls affiliations means sort of any organizational mention. And I was speaking with Tom Demeronville, who's a product manager at ORCID the other day, and he gave us this nice statistic, which is that ROR is now the default organization identifier in ORCID. So ORCID has seen 2.7 million new affiliations being added to records, and only 26,000 with other org IDs. I haven't done the percentage of that, but I think it's, it's probably in the high 90s for sure, if not more, of new affiliations in ORCID that are using ROR IDs. So that's always good to see. And then I just thought I would do a quick and dirty rundown of the top 5 providers of ROR IDs. So with Crossref, this is actually a Japanese organization, Worldwide Protein Data Bank. They, in fact, presented at the Japanese Open Science Summit that I mentioned earlier. And they are registering data sets with Crossref, as a matter of fact, and using ROR ID to identify organizations. American Physical Society, wonderful publisher, the top scholarly publisher using ROR IDs. Fonds de Recherche de Québec, from whom we are going to hear very shortly. eLife Sciences, which, as I mentioned, is also using V2 of ROR. And then Optica Publishing Group, another wonderful scholarly publisher who has wonderful metadata. These numbers for DataCite include all forms of ROR ID. So these are the top providers of ROR IDs, whether used for creator affiliation, for funder, or for publisher. Japan, again, leads the way. Its National Institute for Fusion Science uses ROR IDs to identify itself, and I believe also author affiliations. DISCO, which is a natural sciences database, uses ROR IDs copiously. We've worked very closely with CNRS, the French National Center for Scientific Research. They use ROR IDs in DataCite. Figshare uses ROR IDs. This is their primary Figshare repository. And then the Leibniz Institute operates a database called Strain Info that uses ROR IDs. And so we're happy to see that. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Mathieu, who's going to talk to us about Fonds de Recherche du Québec. And Mathieu, I took the liberty of screenshotting this wonderful blog post you wrote with the link as well about this work that you've done to add DOIs to Crossref for your grants. So you should be able to share your screen now.
Yes, many thanks. Just one moment. Let me share my screen. Good. Just one moment. A small technical thing. Okay, that's good. I just want to do a quick update about our PIDS integration here in Fonds de Recherche du Québec. I am here with Pierrick Plamondon, our IT architect, about all this integration. Fonds de Recherche du Québec, we are a public research funding agency supporting scientific excellence across province of Quebec in Canada. We have 3 branches, so Nature et Technologie, Santé, and Société et Culture. We invest in research project, training, and knowledge mobilization to benefit society, promotes open science, equity, innovation through strategic programs and partnership. So what about this PID integration in our FRQNet, our system, our grant system? So we wanted to improve interoperability, unlocking this huge potential, seamless data exchange across systems. So FRQNet with ORCID and soon with other repositories. We want our outputs linked to our grants. So for example, we want to link publication, datasets, impacts. And the third is my favorite one. We want to reduce the administrative burden for our researchers. It's very important for us to have, at the end, fewer forms, less manual entry with all these PIDs integration. And ROR is one of the PID that we use here in Fonds de Recherche. We have this project about modernization of our system. You can go and click on this link if you want to see. That was a key opportunity for us to do this integration. So we worked with ORCID, we worked with Crossref to generate all the DOIs for our fundings for the past 6 years. We have 2 kinds of data that we can put in the ORCID records. So we have for sure the grants and the awards themselves, but we also have this data format for peer review activities. You will have a small demo by Pierrick in a few moments. And it goes on because in December, we are launching some kind of research impact traceability strategy, something more large, and we can see in the next year what will be coming. And we are working here on a proof of concept about a narrative and modular CV importing ORCID data. This is a very important project for us. So maybe now we can see it live with a real-time example, maybe some benefits. And if you have any question, please feel free to share the question with us. I stop the screen sharing. And maybe Pierrick, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. So I will share my screen. Okay, do you see the FRQNet screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, like this. I have to connect with ORCID to be able to access the application to export with ORCID. So now it log automatically because I'm already logged into ORCID here. So I go in this application, exportation of data to ORCID. I click here. And I can here I link my my account to another one because I don't have funding. I link that to the one of Andrew Gonzalez, so I can export his funding. Maybe I can export this one. So it says the exportation was a success, and now it is in my ORCID okay, and I have to find it. 16. It's this one, first one. So we have the DY, the ROR of the institution, the amount, and the contributors. But here, if we go into the DY, we have the members with their affiliation and their ROR of the affiliation. We have the ROR of the founders, which is us, and where the research is done, the organisms where the research is done, we have the ROR also. If we click, we have McGill University here. So this is the DY of this funding, and we can also export peer review. If I click here, so this is a success. It exported to this is the 2024. So I will reload. So, but the peer review, so the 2024, this is the one. We don't have much information. We put the ROR in the XML that we sent to ORCID, but we asked ORCID why it is not there, the ROR of Fonds de Recherche Québec, but it is not there yet. And so yes, this ends what I have to show. Here,
Yes,
like
many
this.
thanks, Pierre. And we see that this is the first step of the integration. We don't know, we don't have all the answers right now, but we are working closely with Cross-Ref and ROR and with ORCID to have a great plan in the next year for a better integration. And I would like to invite all the founders here. If you have any question about the integration of the PIDs, you can write us, and it will be a pleasure to have a quick meeting about this.
Do I share? I still share?
Yeah, yeah, still sharing. And I think we can pass the to Amanda now.
Can she do it? Okay.
Really wonderful. Thank you. That's really wonderful. I actually do have a quick question. How long have you had FRQNet?
This is a system that we have maybe about 10 years. 10 years ago, that was the first version of the application, but now we did a big a major technological update this year. So that was the key opportunity to do this, because in our business case, I included the PIDs integrations maybe 2 years ago, and hopefully now it's working.
Wonderful. Yeah, looks fantastic. I think a lot of funders would like to emulate you with a system like that. So excellent work. Okay, we are going to hear now about another ROR integration from the Research Data Alliance. So I'm going to pass this over to Hillary. Hillary, I'll just advance to your slide, and then I'll just keep control and play the video when we can.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amanda. Can you hear me? So good afternoon or good morning, depending, I suppose, on where you are in the world, or good evening. So I am just going to briefly introduce RDA, but really say why ROR came into our lives this year, actually, even though, and then we'll pass to a video from our, the lead of our developer, our web agency, Marameo Design. Her colleague, that's Mara, she's actually, I hope, asleep in bed. It's 3 a.m. in Australia where they are, but her colleague Lee is on the call for any technical questions, which I will not be able to answer. So I have the great pleasure of being the Secretary General of the Research Data Alliance. It's an organization founded, like I suppose ROR, on the principles of open science back in 2013. Interestingly, we don't actually mention open science in any of our initial documents, but of course, it's very much focused on research data management and I would say now, of course, all the FAIR research and support in different terms of FAIR. It's a community-driven organization, and the idea is to work together from anywhere in the globe on any technology, on any challenge that you have, and in any discipline or cross-disciplinary to enable the open sharing and reuse of data. And we have, as you can see, those 6 guiding principles. But why? So what's the important thing about here with ROR? Well, when RDA was launched in 2013, we had a website that was based on Drupal. To be a member of RDA, an individual member, you don't need to pay, but you do need to sign up and become part of a community. And we found ourselves in 2022 starting to discuss changing the web platform. We knew it was going to be 10 years old. There were many technological challenges that we had. So finally, in 2004, we did transition with some bumps on the road. We were grateful to find Marameo Design to support us in the second part of that journey. But of course, moving a lot of content and particularly people from ID records from one web platform to another is not simple. And we had no rhyme or reason to these 15,500 members that we have now. So I'm going to leave it now to start the video so you can hear what has been the ROR journey for RDA from Mara. And happy to take questions, of course, at the end, or Lee can, as I say. Thank you.
Hey there, it's Mara here from Marameo Design. We've been working with RDA for about a year, and I'm excited to show you how we've implemented ROR inside the RDA platform. In RDA, all members need to register and they need to give us their organization name. So we've always asked a very simple question. What is your organization name? The problem is, as you know, is that it's not that simple. There is this consistent data with typos, duplicate, and half a dozen ways to call the same organization. This wasn't just a database problem. It means that the report didn't add up. There was trouble linking affiliation. There were countless hours manually cleaning things up. With hundreds of records, maintaining consistency was a nightmare, and it wasn't scalable. We needed a smarter, structured approach. And that's where ROR comes in and stood out instantaneously, not only because of the tech, but because of the shared philosophy with RDA. Both systems are open, community-driven, and built for the research world. Additionally, ROR is a collaboration by 3 organizations, 2 of which are RDA organizational members, DataCite and ORCID. So we were really pleased to implement a globally recognized solution driven by our partners. The implementation is very simple but effective. So we've used the API from the organization endpoint that are integrated in real time on the website. We added it in 3 places: the member registration, profile edits, and the adaptation story submissions. We also use the smart autocomplete suggestions, exactly as per standard ROR API. And we also added a suggestion to join ROR if the organization wasn't found. But let me show you with a live demo exactly the experience that we're giving to the user. When you go and create an account on the RDA website, at the end of the form, there is the organization details, as soon as I click to try to type into that form, the pop-up shows up. And of course, we've made sure that people knew that this lookup came from ROR. This is the organization endpoints on the API connected in real time. So let's say, for example, that I'm searched for ARDC. Automatically, I find my organization. Once I select the organization, so we show up this little card with the information, of course, that comes from ROR. And the user can decide, yes, this is my organization, or to select another organization. When I select this is my organization, this card shows up into the organization name to make it extremely clear what was selected. If I click again, I can also decide to select another organization. Let's say, for example, Sydney University. University of Sydney, perfect. Now, if my organization isn't in ROR and I can't find it, first of all, we've given a little bit of tips on try to find the organization, but also I can then decide that I cannot find my organization in ROR, and so I can just put open text value for my organization. Also, we're prompting to submit the organization name into ROR. In this case, if I do next, I just see Marameo Design in that case as my organization name. This shows how we're prioritizing the lookup into ROR database, but then as a fallback, we allow people to add their own organization name with the prompt of submitting the organization name into the ROR database. So far, the results are incredible. Since we've launched it, we had a whopping 90% of new RDA members that found and selected their organization through ROR. This means that our data is so much cleaner, and more than hundreds of records finally have structured data. Really shows how ROR covers the vast majority of our member base already. And the few that couldn't find their organization were gently encouraged to sign up for ROR to improve the whole ecosystem. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy. Any question, Lee should be part of the webinar, and he'll be able to answer any technical question about this implementation. Thanks again. Bye.
Great. Would anybody like to ask any questions of either Lee or Hillary?
Can I just say that to close it, as there are no questions, that actually for us as well, it's not apart from as Mara mentioned, cleaning, you know, and having structured records, but something that we weren't able to do or haven't been able to do until is to analyze our member data in a more correct way, and this. Obviously, for the non-technical staff, so the Secretariat of RDA, and we're a small group, makes a huge difference. I think with our 15,000 members, we've something like 11,000 organizations in there. So, you know, thinking of what we can do with more structured data around that is quite a significant leap. So thank you, ROR.
You are welcome. I actually have a question. I don't want to dominate the Q&A period, but I did notice in the form, the RDA form, that there's a field for organization type that doesn't seem to be populated by ROR. Of course, we do have our own list of organization types, but I'm just curious, I'm assuming that's an RDA list of organization types. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, it is. And we did look into it, actually, when we were integrating. Lee may remember if he wants to supplement my discussion, but unfortunately, with the fact that these were existing records, so we have new members, of course, coming in all the time, but we also brought quite a significant number. I think it was 12,000 or 13 when we transitioned, and they didn't match up, unfortunately. Now, who's to say that we could force it, right? If we got the ROR records, maybe we could get the, but yeah, the stakeholder types that we use don't unfortunately match. They don't map very well to.
That's unsurprising, but I'm curious about what those types are. What are some examples?
Stakeholder types. Some are similar, right? We did a mapping of them. So, I mean, they're government, public and funding, but SMEs, publishers, but we split them differently, if I remember, Amanda, yeah. But it might be, you know, valuable for us to try and do a mapping of them and then, you know, see, could we...
yeah, no, I'm curious because I think it's likely that at some point we will look at our own organization type list, and there could be all kinds of ways in which we could enhance that. For instance, we don't have a publisher type. Now, maybe we shouldn't, but we do have we have a company type, we have a nonprofit type, we have a government type.
I think, yeah, you're right. The reason we have them in a certain way as well is because the idea or RDA is so broad and there are so many different, if you like, topics that are being covered, but also entry points. I might be interested in FAIR, but I might be a funder and I might want to see. So a lot of the taxonomies used and tags that we use in the back end of the web platform, when we obviously upload the content or insert the content, the groups, the outputs, different things, they are tagged by according to the stakeholder. So for us, it's more of a view to being able to provide the user with a journey to find content that they might need, rather than maybe using them. But having the two mirror each other would be very valuable. That's true.
Yeah. Great.
Hey there, it's Mara here from
That's it. We won't just play the video again. I will mention too that Mara did put that video, the separate video, on YouTube, and we've linked to it from the ROR YouTube account in our playlist of demos by ROR adopters. And then, of course, in addition, we'll add the recording of this entire meeting to our YouTube channel and send it out to all registrants. With that being said, we have plenty of time for questions, plenty of time for you to tell us about any news with your own ROR journey. I'd be particularly interested to hear from anybody who has quite recently put a V1 specification into their ROR API request. Has anyone done that recently?
We just did this at Earthscope and found it very convenient. Thank you for the facilities for making the upgrade path pretty seamless.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. And you're with Disco, did you say?
Earthscope Consortium.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. Yeah. Good to hear, Jim. Anyone else have any other news about ROR adoption in general? Questions, comments? All right, well, we can end a little bit early in that case. We are always available at support@ror.org. We do have discussion groups and a newsletter and so on, and of course these bi-monthly meetings. So thank you especially to Hilary and Mathieu and Mara and Lee and Pierrick for coming and telling us about your use of ROR. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.